I do believe in a higher power that sustains and directs all of life. I'd really like to know how to tell where I'm going. I get life is a mystery, but it really feels like I should at least know that. I don't have a clue about all this woo-woo. I take life as it comes, living day by day. Evolution this, evolution that. What is it supposed to mean? Evolution from what to what? Okay, so I get the nodes, but with my chart, how am I supposed to make the leap? This is either a crazy joke, some cosmic joke, or there's really a big secret to working it all out. If the purpose of life is evolution, how do we know where we are on our evolutionary path? That can be answered in infinite ways because there are infinite paths. Whether we're talking about the outer planets in Western astrology, which mark the generational collective consciousness we are here to evolve through and contribute to, are the Sidereal 120-year Mahadasha that marks the influences and duration of each planet at specific times in our birth chart. Today we're going to talk about the basic and universal evolutionary path, Great Mother Father God's nodal dance along the path of the ecliptic. Every 18 months, the type of dance they do changes how the collective planetary soul progresses through the cosmic layers of our unique evolution. We experience this as an oppositional yin-yang ego-soul energy pulling us along with them. On an ego level, it feels like pulling because as soon as we get used to Virgo North Node, Pisces South Node, we are thrust into the energy of Leo North Node, Aquarius South Node. However, simultaneously, during that transit, the soul was traversing the path the ego was preparing to enter in Leo Aquarius. And with a quick step ball change into Cancer Capricorn, the soul or sidereal astrology supports and prepares us for yet another opportunity to learn the dance of ego-soul alignment. What is this present evolutionary opportunity? Began in May 2017 in Cancer Leo Rahu North Node opposing K2 South Node energies in Capricorn Aquarius. In this full moon video, you will see how this total lunar eclipse, mega full moon release, cleanse, and purification follows up on the shadow issues that emerged in your moon sign during the total solar eclipse, August 21st. It is the most personal lunar eclipse reading you will receive without a personal reading, which looks at your unique natal chart, nodes, and the lunar energies that govern important aspects of your evolution. How have you intuitively and emotionally approached this eclipse season thus far? For instance, immediately after the total solar eclipse, Great Mother told me to begin this channel. Although I didn't feel that I was ready, intuitively, I knew it was now or never. I had no idea how to incorporate such a commitment into my busy life coaching schedule. However, not only have the readings saved me countless hours corresponding with clients between sessions, I now realize this current nodal axis is my coaching specialty, Mama and Daddy Drama Trauma. And this dance is an invitation to us all to heal it. Mama drama trauma and daddy drama trauma are planetary disorders. It is when a parent or both project unhealed aspects of themselves onto the child or children, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the parent or parents are unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, my coaching work supports individuals to live in loving detachment. For more information on that, go to greatmotherspeaks.info. Click the picture of me wearing an afro and the words Mama Drama Trauma on the homepage, where you will find where to book life coaching and a personal Great Mother Speaks reading online. The Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck used for these readings was channeled several years ago while praying for a more soulful approach to support my clients. Based on Dorothy's orphan narrative in the Wizard of Oz movie, Great Mother teaches us through the signs and symbols of chakras, the lunar cycles, and our God-Goddess identity, how to dance along the yellow brick road we are being guided to walk this lifetime. It is a path that teaches us to honor personal truth and the truth in our healing or ego-soul aligning process to lovingly express our highest truth at all times. At this full moon, January 31st, 2018, Total Lunar Eclipse moment, this is what they have to say to you.
The God of God,
You are a dearly loved, never judged, never condemned, and never left alone divine child of the Great Mother, Father God. Welcome to your full moon total lunar eclipse reading, Aries, Taurus people. Want you to know that this is energy happening in your 4th, 5th, and 10th houses. Very powerfully for you for an entire cycle. The cycle began during the total solar eclipse, August 21st. The eclipse the world stopped to watch, and so that was in your 5th and 4th houses. Sidereal, your soul, in Aries with the Leo in the 5th house, and the tropical with the Leo in your 4th house, that Leo sun. You were approaching that Leo sun, Aries, Taurus people, with an attitude of either wanting to express a very wild aspect of yourself or holding back out of fear. And so we have this new moon card, and that is exactly what a total solar eclipse is. It happens during the new moon. So this would have particular emphasis for you for the total solar eclipse. Solar eclipses are about looking at the shadows. And so we see the shadow phase of the moon. The new moon is the planning, what you're thinking about. And so on an intuitive soul basis, there's 5th house energy. This Leo and K2 at this time, the nakshatra, is a very evolved Leo energy in the 5th house. And so very powerfully on a soul level, wanting to connect with people on a genuine level, wanting not just to express yourself and be childish and have fun, but actually be family oriented, not just wanting to be the center of attention, but actually wanting to share your bounty with others, not just wanting to go and have, just indulgent opportunities to play and whatnot, but actually this evolved energy of the nakshatra Maha, ruled by the planet K2, was in Baba Yaga, this new moon. And so this energy is very paternal. It's a dignified energy of Leo. Okay, it's very successful. It's faithful. It has a spirituality. It has a Christ consciousness, in fact. It has a limitless bliss. It has a relationship with primordial powers. And as we see in this scene of the Wizard of Oz, which the Great Mother Speaks deck is based on, the 49 scenes, this is when the 3 and Dorothy head to the dark forest, to the witch's castle. And that sign says, "I wouldn't go any further if I were you." So you were approaching the total solar eclipse at that time as something to really be apprehensive about, or you were needing to really express yourself about something. And And if you think back to this time, emotionally, you were dealing with a lot of things at home. Particularly, we're focusing on here, Great Mother Speaks channel, mother issues. And so the moon was in Cancer Leo as it is now. The moon, the new moon in Cancer Leo at that time was in the nakshatra Ashlesha. This is a very turbulent energy for Cancer. It's a very immature energy of Cancer. It's imbalanced. It is very hypnotic in terms of its attachments to things. It has very deep emotional entanglements and hypnotic attachments to people, to things, and to situations. It is a mama drama trauma energy, if we were to have one, through the nakshatras. And it's one that is healed only by learning discrimination, detachment, as we teach here, greatmotherspeaks.info, loving detachment, dispassion from things. And so when you were approaching that particular time, if you think back to August, where you were emotionally, there were some home issues. And so maybe you were beginning to recognize that there were some deep-seated, probably pathologies in the family through the maternal line, causing some addictions, causing some issues that you were having in your relationships that you were seeing, becoming aware of as patterns in your family line. Maybe at that time you were wanting to move beyond that. You were wanting to go through the dark forest, but there was some fear about it. Or as Dorothy and the three were going beyond the sign anyway, once it appeared into the darkness, you began a dark night of the soul period in your life. It's very possible. It's very possible. Sometimes at the very beginning of a dark night of the soul phase of our lives, we don't know that we are in the dark night of the soul period of our lives, but you would have an inkling of it by now. So the transformative opportunity that's available from this total lunar eclipse has to do with this Cancer Leo moon returning in a more mature nakshatra of Pusha. On a soul level for you, this is again this fifth house, that this fourth house energy, actually, because this is the Cancer Leo moon energy. And so the moon that eclipsed the sun here was pulling out of the shadow of that mature sun those imbalanced maternal issues and saying the wild woman needs to come out and look at really what's going on here. The wild woman really needs to come out and go beyond the fear here. Where is the source of these patterns of why you can't have a relationship? What's the source of these addictive behaviors, be it to sex, be it to opiates, whatever? What's the source of this? There's some type of issue that needed to be spoken. And so the transformative opportunity by the full moon here on the 31st is to heal yourself. Ishel, the Mayan goddess of fertility and self-healing, is coming through saying self-creation in the form of the waxing gibbous moon, refining, reevaluating, revising your desires. Here in this deck, the second chakra is symbolized by the Ankh. And here we see Ishel is the photo of Dorothy and Aunt Em that Professor Marvel pulls out of the basket when he's giving her the reading. You know what you need to self-heal. No one needs to pull out a picture from a basket to tell you who you are and where you want to be. But Professor Marvel did tell her that after he snuck the photo and revised her plans to go along her journey with Toto to return home. And so the transformative opportunity is to return home, but to do so on your own terms, just as Dorothy was forced to do when Great Mother came in the incarnation of the Twister. She diverted that path because it was not time for her to go home. It was time for her to meet Great Father energy, but not in the way that she had met him on that path with Professor Marvel, but as the reincarnated Professor Marvel as Oz. What is the reincarnated relationship at work? What is the reincarnated relationship that you're having with yourself in terms of your highest potential, that you see your gifts and your abilities, what you want to express in the world? Because this is 10th house energy, this lunar eclipse for you, Aries, Taurus people. This has to do with the sun being in Capricorn and Aquarius now. It was in Leo, but now that we've come from the new moon to the full moon total lunar eclipse, the transformative opportunity is to revise your situation based on your own assessment. Now, you probably spoke some truths into existence and admitted some things about your family pathologies and imbalanced home situation and that sort of thing. But now, since that time, you can heal yourself, is what Great Mother is saying. The energies are conspiring with you to release anything that does not support your ability to lovingly listen and to trust what you know about yourself, and move on with making choices that are in your highest benefit, your highest advantage. Look at things and see the dark and the light of the situation, accepting your soul contract unconditionally for what you came here to do, not letting anything hold you back. No fears, no mama drama trauma, none of that. Just being able to deal with those healing issues on your own terms, at your own pace, in a genuine way that makes sense to you, but continuing with your life. That's the power of acknowledgement, because this Capricorn Aquarius sun is an evolution from the Leo sun, in the sense that although it's south node, okay, Aquarius is in the south node in the western and Capricorn is in K2 in the sidereal. That is exactly why it's evolutionary, because it is pulling from us what needs to be released in terms of our commitments, in terms of our responsibilities, in terms of what we think others think about us and what they're saying and what their advice is. It's releasing that. This energy that's coming up, this eclipse, is releasing that. If you don't have anything in your heart and your mind to release, it's just going to release what it knows will bring you in alignment from where you are at this time. However, if you consciously work with the energies, Aries, Taurus, Moon people, you will begin to release this constant fear that you're having to express yourself, and perhaps at work, because Capricorn Aquarius is in your 10th house. And so this is what I'm talking about in terms of your soul contract, unconditionally blessing what it is you know in your heart of hearts you are here to do. And committing to doing that regardless of how things appear. Because remember, when they went beyond that, yes, there were still some tests and challenges. The monkeys came and they took Toto and she got locked up in the castle and all kind of stuff happened. But they released their fears. They released all of the not having a heart, all of not having a brain, and all of not having any courage. That's what it took to get from there to here. This is new moon to waxing gibbous. This is just before the full moon. So if you're watching this just before the full moon, well then, hey, Great Mother's telling you, release anything that doesn't contribute to your self-healing, because the Capricorn in the sidereal, from your Aries perspective of this 10th house, has to do with a love of listening and learning. So listening to yourself, preserving your history, respecting where you came from, respecting your lineage and all that's good of it for you and all that you've learned. But then flipping whatever has not been a blessing to you. This nakshatra is also the nakshatra of not having good relationships with the mother, where the sun is. Okay, the sun energy that is eclipsing the moon is in Capricorn Aquarius, and that nakshatra Shravana that rules that Capricorn in the sidereal is very typically a maternal relationship that suffers. But the individuals, because of their love of listening and their love of learning, they evolve from that MDT experience and they become great teachers. They become excellent counselors. The lunar energy in Cancer Leo that's returning, the same lunar energy that was Cancer Leo in the solar eclipse is now Cancer Leo in the lunar eclipse. It's returning. Great Mother's returning with the same energies again. However, the Cancer is not the immature Ashlesha. It is the evolved Pusha, the nurturer, the childlike, loving caregiver, whose lesson is to become more self-protective. So become more self-protective in your loving ways toward yourself and toward others. And honor what it is that you came here to do. The 10th house, they call it the house of wish fulfillment, because you fulfill the wishes of your soul in the 10th house. That's second chakra. So we're talking aligning the lower chakras with the higher chakras here for you, Aries, Taurus, moon sign people. What Great Mother does not want you to overlook is that although this sounds very challenging, look who's with you. The angels. The angels are assisting your collective celestial consciousness of Aries, Taurus, moon sign people in order to move forward, in order to do what it is you need to do, to realize the gifts that you came to give to the world and that the world is expecting from you. On an intuitive level, we have an expectation of people, and it can drive us crazy because a lot of times we're like, oh my goodness, what do they want from me? What do they want from me? And as soon as we focus on healing ourselves and being clear about what our own desires are, and we do things out of a joy of doing them, speaking the truth, even if it's hard to do, because the wild woman Baba Yaga, she will be expressed, whether you allow her to or not. Great Mother's just going ahead and she's saying that is how you were approaching August, which is very good. And so don't feel bad about that. The angels are assisting you. Sometimes when we express truths in the beginning, especially when they have to do with our mothers, it can be done in inappropriate ways. We're taught to respect our parents, and that's what we want to do. That's why we go through so much pain. We don't want to be taboo and all that kind of stuff, but calling a thing is what this journey was about for Dorothy. That's why she is the poster child for Mama Drama Trauma. She had to get away from there and earn her own power. And so what Great Mother is saying is that the angels are supporting you in doing that and claiming what it is that you need in your own desires, so that you can in a career, you can in your wish fulfillment of your soul, express what it is you came here to share with the world, and they can receive it. Now, what's the shadow? What's keeping you from doing that, Aries, Taurus, moon people? Mayat comes up. Mayat comes up as a first quarter moon card, which is about actions, choices, and facing challenges. Mayat is telling you that this third eye, first quarter moon, is the intuitive choice, taking the intuitive action, sun sign, inspired by your intuition. And so the shadow is not acting on your intuition. The shadow is perhaps finding that the challenges are too great for you to actually clearly see that you are receiving the support that you need. And so that's why she's coming through with this emphasis, I believe, is to make sure that you know that, because the shadow that comes right up for you is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the three do return to the Castle of Oz with the broom, and he has nothing for them, and they're very upset. This is them facing him very upset. So their intuition probably told them, as Toto was barking, that he didn't have any courage to give them. He didn't have a brain to give them. He didn't have a heart to give them, and he certainly didn't have a way back to Kansas to give them. And so where's the justice in this? Great Mother saying that the justice is in receiving the gift that the journey has given you. There's been a journey since this new moon, this total solar eclipse, to now, the lunar eclipse, to accepting what your desires are and how you want to share them with the world. That's a gift to make that journey from this point to that. And Great Mother is saying that the shadow is not recognizing that gift. Intuitively, you know that you've made a leap. But perhaps on an ego level, you haven't actually chose to face what that really means. And what that really means for you is that you need to take more time to center yourself. Breathing exercises, meditation, prayer is speaking to spirit or just speaking to your soul. But hey, what is it, that we have up for today? How do I need to approach this situation? I'm going to buy such and such and such and such. I'm real indecisive. What's for my highest good? And breathe. Deep breathe. Take it down. Gut breathe. And receive. That's meditation. Meditation is receiving. And so that's what Dorothy did in this scene when Great Mother, symbolized by Glinda the Good Witch, told her to click her heels 3 times. Receive, dear child. This is what needs to be acknowledged as the relationship that you have with your shadow at this time. The shadow has some resistance to accepting that there is a justice since that total solar eclipse that has occurred, which is all about showing us the shadows. And we don't want to see the shadows because we don't know that we're divinely loved children of the Great Mother, Father, God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We don't know that. And so we constantly feel like every lunar cycle, everything that comes is coming at us. It's coming, I'm coming for you. People are always talking about, and, don't come for me. And this, everything is not about that. As a matter of fact, nothing is. We are dearly loved. Dearly. They help us to live in loving detachment from all that crap, even if that crap is from our own mother. You see the double yin and the double yang sign? That's balancing ego and the soul. That's what the angels help us to do. That's what they help us to do. And so the ego has this in the shadow, and Great Mother is saying that your relationship with that is simply to click your heels 3 times. You're already home, sweetheart. You're already home. That is what your intuition is telling you. And so if that hasn't been clear, let that be clear now, this full moon. Because what needs to be released, Aries, Taurus, moon people, is a need to please other people by not honoring your own truth. This is the integrity card. It's a heart chakra card and a balsamic moon law card. This is about, this is not a law card. This is balsamic moon final scene. She's in the farmhouse with the 3 now farmhands, previous life as farmhands, the scarecrow you see there, the Tin Man, and the lion, okay, and Oz, Professor Marvel there, welcoming her back home. And she's saying, you were there, you were there, you were there. And they're just kind of entertaining her because they don't remember that life right now. Or do we really know? That's why it's so important to stay in our integrity. Great Mother is saying that it's time to release a need to people please, because we never really know how to please another person, do we? It's best just to stay in our own what? Integrity. Balsamic moon cards have to do with the period of download right before the new moon. And so the downloading has to do with receiving information from our soul. And the soul has been saying to you that it really wants to be more creatively expressive. It really wants to do it in a way that is a mature and loving way to do it. And it also wants to listen more. It wants to be more intuitive, be more connected to its higher expression of the primordial mother within itself, intuitively and otherwise. And so it can better serve the world, better connect with other people by better connecting with itself. And in order to do that, the shadow work of integrity, Great Mother is saying that a rebirth is what you need to embody. Embodying rebirth is about balsamic moon energy that moves into a download of the throat chakra. This is a throat chakra card, and this has to do with being able to not only speak your truth, but accept that divine expression that you incarnated to do. This is the scene that shortly after that, it looks very similar, doesn't it? But this is the scene that basically Dorothy is telling the story of what was happening in Oz, and everyone is just kind of listening. And she realizes, you can see there's a little discomfort there, that other people aren't really believing her, but that's okay. She's still telling her story. And that's the same with you, Aries, Taurus, Moon people. Tell your story. Express your divinity. Be happy about how you've been blessed. Just be happy within yourself, knowing that you've been blessed. That's enough. That's what the angels are saying. They're saying that that's enough. And they're supporting you to live in the loving detachment that's required to accept that that's enough. Sometimes we don't want to accept that that's enough because we have been so conditioned that we need the sign on from other people. But remember, both moons are in Cancer, Leo. This has to do with a transformation from Ashlesha Nakshatra energy that's imbalanced, immature Cancer, irrational, very attached to old ideas of, how needs should be fulfilled and all of that sort of thing. And it's an evolution to a higher Nakshatra Cancer energy of Pusha, which is the nurturer that needs to learn self-protection. So know that, that validation is going to have to come from you, sweetheart. And that nurturing that you do, be sure that the motivation for doing it is not to get sign on, but to get your heart energy on. To allow you to center yourself with your intuition. To allow you to accept justice in whatever form that it comes to you as a blessing. This is the power of moon sign readings. This is what allows us to inspire our solar or sun sign personality and our daily actions with grace. Your final outcome for your shadow work, this total lunar eclipse, Aries, Taurus, Moon people, is Osiris Horus, the rebirth card. This is death and rebirth. By releasing the tendency to hold on to untruths, imbalanced caregiving, attachments to others, conditional love type of relationships and situations, through discrimination and detachment to that turbulence, and actually working with your wild woman energy to express yourself. See, both are fifth chakra energies, your outcome and your solar eclipse approach. You will be able to, as this waxing gibbous moon card is saying, revise, refine, and edit who you've been up to this point in relationship to mama drama trauma. Be it a cycle that you are experiencing or that you have had to deal with in a relationship with someone, maybe a friend, maybe a girlfriend, and the way she relates to you is because she's had this particular condition in her life, that she has an unhealthy relationship with you. This channel is not just for Great Mother Speaks clients who have mama drama and daddy drama trauma, but for people who love us. It is a real issue. And that's why Great Mother said that these readings were necessary to help people understand those of her children who feel the furthest away from her. And she's saying that that is not the case at all. Aries, Taurus, Moon people, you are being reborn and revised by working with these energies to harmoniously support you, to heal yourself, and to express yourself the way your soul intended. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and sharing. Great Mother Speaks videos. They bless so many people, and you bless me. Thank you so much. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. As always, double check your moon sign at the links below, because in case it is the same in your sidereal as it is in your western, which happens 1/5 of the time, then you will also want to listen to your celestial collective consciousness sign before this.